Hey, what's up, my divine masculines? Hey, man, it's good to come back to y'all again. Got a lot of information for y'all, new things, new information, new energies that are coming in, a whole bunch of solar storms, whole bunch of change. But anyway, let's jump into it real quick. Um, I'm gonna give a reading, man. I got a new deck, my Numinous deck. Bam, love these Astro cards, awesome. But anyway, let me get into our energy update. Um, and by the way, this is a new weekly series I'm gonna do called the DM Talk, and where basically I'm gonna give you energy updates for the Divine Masculine Collective as well as the Divine Feminine, and sort of how those energies are interacting in your daily life and what's going on. So the first thing I received was we're in a period. We're dealing with our shadow side. We're doing shadow side work again, and this is awesome because as the Mercury retrograde is happening, we're able to now get back into the things that we may have missed the first time. We're able to now go back and look, or be able to listen and communicate the way that we're actually feeling, or maybe repressed thoughts, emotions, all of these things. We're also getting to the point where we're living the truth of ourselves. This is a big one because living out your truth means being honest with yourself. It also means being honest with those around you. So that might bring up a lot of change in your life. You know what I'm saying? So, but we have to allow these transitions to happen. I mean, seriously. Coming into the knowledge of yourself, coming into the understanding of yourself, allows you to transition, allows your soul to transition. If you're feeling any stoppage in movement, you're not moving forward, you feel stagnant, that means that your soul is not progressing. You're actually sitting back, observing more than moving and living. So you got to remember to always keep moving forward. This could bring up feelings of being abandoned and alone due to difficulty in allowing. So the energy that's coming in, it's twofold. On one hand, it's allowing your soul to transition to the next stage, to the next density and dimension of living, but it also can bring feelings of abandonment and feeling alone. But this can all be overcome, like I was saying before, if you just will allow this energy and allow this transition to happen. It's all about your self-love. That's pretty much the journey that I would say the Divine Masculines are on right now. It's on self-love. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to title it, self-love. The Divine Masculines are learning to love every single bit of themselves, including the shadow. And these are things that I know that even me personally dealing with. We all are dealing with our shadow sides now and learning how to come into oneness with that shadow side, because you cannot move forward without coming into oneness with yourself, with all of yourselves. There's just a lot going on right now, a lot of transition. But yeah, with Mercury, listen and communicate to the energy. The change is for your good. It's not for your harm, it's for your good. So listen to all of the information coming in. Make smart decisions. Communicate. Communication is going to be big because communication could be cut off. So this week, my Divine Masculines, make sure you communicate it. Make sure you're talking to yourselves. Talk to yourself. Come into balance with yourself. That's what you got to do. Come into balance with yourself and live your truth. Live for yourself. And when I say that, remember, selfish is not the way that it was described. Being selfish is to pull all of yourselves into your ish, right? I mean, just listen to the words. What's your ish? Your mess. What's your mess? You are the mess that you're trying to clean up. So be selfish. It's not pulling back your love. It's not pulling back food to the homeless. It's not sharing your bag of chips. That's not being selfish. That right there is actually called a survival mechanism. That means that you want to survive, so you don't want to give all your food away. See, that has nothing to do with being selfish. You got to know this. Being selfish means that you're taking care of yourself, yourselves on the inside, your cells, cells on the inside. But anyway, that's a different conversation. But anyway, let's get into this quick reading real quick. Ancestral DNA clearing. That's big right now too. That energy that's coming in is ancestral energy. Uh-oh, that fell out already. I love these cards. See, it's a square challenge. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a challenge that came out when I said ancestral. Create tension, stalls, sounds the alarm, motivates, pressures into, and frustrates and demands things. This could bring up struggles. This is so cool. But the reason why I say that is because we are clearing ancestral blocks right now, ancestral struggles. We are not supposed to be living the same cycles that our ancestors did. We're not supposed to be fighting the same fight that our ancestors did. We're supposed to transcend those things because you are your ancestor. You are your lineage or your line age. That's what that actually means. That's why there was so much deception about who we were as melanated people in America. They didn't want you to know who your line age, what your line age is and what your line age was, because then you would know certain things about yourself. So anyway, let's get into the reading real quick. Is there anything else before I get into the reading? I just want to make sure that I get all of this stuff out. All of this knowledge, I shouldn't say stuff, but all of this knowledge out for you guys. Another thing was, I asked, how does the divine masculine need to come into balance? This is very important, guys. I forgot this part. And it's so important, and I forgot it. Wow. I'm glad my angels and my ancestors are helping me remember this. But how do I come into balance? Was the question that I asked for the divine masculines. And we're to come in balance with our opposite side, our female side. So within you are two streams of power, and you have a divine masculine and a divine feminine within you. This is why you have testosterone and estrogen. That is the 3D version of it, or the third density way of saying you have woman and man in you. You are to come into oneness with that. Now, when you come into oneness with yourself, you raising your kundalini, you're coming into your strength and your power. This is very important for you to be able to walk around in your true masculinity, in your true divine masculinity. You have to come into oneness with your divine female side. This is how you come into balance. When you come into this balance, you become connected to your divine feminine stream of energy from source. So source is one, but source breaks into two. This is why the two is represented here. So then that two represents a sort of mitosis happens, an expansion. So just realize that you need both to come into balance. You can't have just one stream of power running within you and then think you're going to be in balance. So it's the actual opposite that brings you into your completeness or your balance. All right. So the new moon is going to bring you back to balance. It's going to bring you back into balance with your divine feminine side. What else? There's something else. I was jotting this down, so give me a second. Dump everything as you go. The old way of thinking, the old way of being, of thinking that this defines masculinity, get rid of that. That no longer defines masculinity anymore. Heading into 2020, into this reset that we're going into, you got to realize that the way that you did things as a masculine no longer works. there's a new sheriff in town. In other words, is what I'm hearing. So, all right, let's get forward with this reading. I think that's it. If you guys have any questions about anything, of course, you can email me at chakrascapes11@gmail.com. The information is in there. I put it all in there for you. Look at this. Look what comes out. Opposition, balance, coming into balance. Just what I was saying before we even get into the reading. It relates to looking in the mirror and seeing yourself in balance. That's what I'm receiving right now. The opposition. Look at the opposition. Look at your opposite and then fall in love with it. Come into oneness with it. When you know how to love your feminine side, then you're going to know how to love your divine feminine. You cannot love her if you cannot love the woman inside of you. Yes, I said that. The female inside of you. You have to come into oneness with that to know what she's feeling, to even be able to vibrate on her level, to vibrate with her. You have to come into oneness with that. I love this. I love this. This is amazing. All right. So let's do a little prayer real quick for all my divine masculines out there, or a little meditation, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you. But give you like 30 seconds of silence to meditate and clear yourself and be able to receive, because this is a general reading. As it resonates for you, receive it. Okay? But it may apply a couple of weeks later, or it may have already happened to you. This energy is constantly in motion. All right? So let's go ahead and do a little centering, a little meditation. Alrighty, let's roll. Here we go. What's messages for my divine male collective? My divine males out there. What do they need to know for the week? What do they know for the week? What do they need to know? Oh, there we go. That hopped out, didn't it? The boss, Capricorn. Got the Capricorn card. That's so fitting right now with everything going on in Capricorn, but it's time to be the boss. It's time for you to take charge of your life. What did I tell you in the beginning? The energy that was coming in? Okay, there you go. It's time to be the boss. It's time to be the one that says, I'm going to step up and take charge of me. I'm going to live for me and be happy for me. That's what this is. It's not selfish. This is what's needed by the divine male collective right now. Is to stand up and be a boss and stop sitting back waiting on somebody else to do it. You got to do it. It's time for you to take charge of you and become your true self. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Don't even need a clarifier for that. That's just straight up. Be the boss. Be the boss. What else does the divine male collective need to know to help them come into balance this week? To help them come into balance this week. What else does the divine male collective need to know to come into balance this week? To help them with this energy and transitioning through these solar storms. What else? There we go. Okay, I'm going to take that one. Jupiter, expansion. That's right. That's right. It's time to expand. It's everything that I'm telling you. You cannot ascend without expanding. Structurally, it doesn't make sense. You will not be structurally sound. No building inspector would ever pass a building that was higher than its width could hold. So you have to expand as well as ascend. It's the cross. It's the cross. That's what the cross is. You are that 0 point on the cross. And you are expanding, and you are ascending, and you are descending. So, as you're going through all of this change, as you are becoming bigger, you're holding a bigger space. You're holding a bigger space in time. That's something a little different, but it has to do with your soul and your soul frequency and your soul space. But anyway, this right here, expanding. This is what's going to help you deal with the energies this week. Expand. So be the boss. Be the boss. Step up and be the boss in every area of your life. Okay? And expand. So when you're meditating this week, meditate on Jupiter. Meditate on the constellation of Capricorn. Meditate on how Capricorns get things done. Think about, when a Capricorn walks in there, people already know, man, that's the boss right there. You can see them just the way they hold their body, the way they kind of observe everything and bring everything into their mental space. And then they calculate out what needs to be done because they're the boss, right? Well, they sometimes think they're the boss, but that's something else different. But in the expansion, though, I'm also seeing in this, be willing to take risk. Be willing to take risk. With the dice being there, be willing to take some risk. Be willing to expand and see it as a journey. See it as, how do you call it? The journey of expansion. That's what I'm hearing. See it as the journey of expansion. It's just going to be fun. It's like being on the Ferris wheel. And, you go up and you're seeing everything over the city, and then you go down and you go around and around. It's like being able to see from the higher level. This is going to allow you to expand more. So you've ascended now. And you're on that Ferris wheel is what I'm being shown. And you can look out over the whole city or the ocean, whatever you can imagine. Okay? And while you're looking over that, you can actually see where you need to expand. Where's a crack? So be the boss. Stand up and look at your life. Look at yourself. Look at your inner self, your reflection. And see what is it about that's irking you. That you're not in alignment with, and change it. Be the boss. Expand your horizons, expand your knowledge, expand everything that you can. Just don't be stagnant, because as your shadow comes up, you're going to have to know how to deal with it. And if you're not dealing with your shadow side, you can't come into balance with your feminine side. No woman wants to deal with somebody she's scared to go home to. So how's your feminine side going to rise in you when you haven't dealt with your masculine shadow side yet? Man, you got to deal with this stuff for your divine feminine to feel at home, to feel that she can lay her head on your chest and rest. Not thinking that, here we go again. So this oneness is much needed. Thank you. I'm not going to take those because didn't even ask a question, but I'll look at them for sure. Wow. Ace of Swords and what's that? Three of Wands. Wow. Established strength. These are some of my favorite cards. Love them. Love them. The Hermetic Tarot is what I'm using. And they deal with the shadow side. They're deep. These are really deep cards. And they get into the deep, dark shadow side of the soul, of the light body, on so many density levels. They're really great for that. But anyway, conflict. You may be going through some conflict this week, and learn that this conflict is bringing you to a place of love and harmony. love and harmony. So, first card to pop out as your overall energy for the week is Four of Wands. The Four of Wands. So, like I said, you may be having some passionate, inspirational moments, where you're building. These are foundational building moments, is what I'm hearing. These are going to be foundational building moments where we're actually getting to the center of things. I want you to see the thumbs in the middle. This is what I was telling you about being on the cross. And I'm showing that you might be feeling stretched to the max right now. I don't know if you can see that, but you may be feeling stretched to the max right now. But, it's time for the hard work to be done. It's time for the foundations to be laid. It's time for your ambitions, for your expansion. Like I said, just like the Jupiter goes right with the expansion. So, is there anything else I'm saying in this? So, in a Venusian way, or Venus, yeah. So, right, you might be on your shadow side. You might be dealing with some vainness, some narcissism, and you got to get to the center of it. You got to get to the center of it. Whatever the vainness, the narcissism that's within you, you got to get to the center of that and push that button. Get it out of there. Get into that 0 point of yourself on your cross and deal with your issues. You got to do the hard work now. It's time to start doing this deep shadow work, this deep emotionally challenging shadow work. Asking yourself the question of, why am I doing this? Why am I going into this? But yeah, there's a few more things there. But also Aries, being the boss, being number one. I told you it's time to be selfish. You saw the Rams on there. That was the overall energy for the week. Give me a clarifier for the overall energy of the week. Okay. 5 of Pentacles. Look at this. And that's Lord of material trouble, it says on the bottom. So you got Lord of perfected work, Lord of material trouble, meaning that you're going to be going through maybe a little bit of material turmoil where you're having turnover. You're having to let things go. There might be home, cars, girlfriends, side chicks, all of that stuff. Man, it's a clearing. That's what that is. But that 5 of Pentacles is bringing challenge, is bringing change. Is bringing change in your pentacles, you know what I'm saying? In your earthly matters. In your money, like I said, in your money, your cars, materialism, your health. So a lot of high turnover is what I'm hearing. A lot of high turnover in this card. Yeah. And as far as dealing with the shadow side this week, your shadow side is going to want to hold on. It's going to rear its horns. So you guys really going to have to kind of sit back in the seat and just allow. That's what I'm hearing. Self-love and allow transition to happen. Man, beautiful cards. So in expansion, like when you go to build a building, like we were mentioning before, most of my guys know you got to clear land off. You got to get the foundation right. So when you're expanding, things have to be moved out of the way so that the new can be brought in. So allow the expansion to happen this week, guys. Allow yourself to be the best version of you. Love you. And don't let nobody else tell you any different. If you cannot love every part of yourself, how can you love her? How can she truly trust you? Just saying. So, all right, I held y'all long enough. I hope that helps you guys out. If y'all need to contact me, my information is on the page. I'm also on Facebook under Chakrascapes. So, like I said, I'm here to help you guys. I do a 15-minute free initial consultation, and most times that's all people really need. I do energy work, energy clearing, soul reconnections, all of that great stuff. So anyway, to all my light workers, all my star seeds, all my divine masculines, everything that you resonate with, if you're hearing this, it's because you're meant to. I love you. May your evolution take place, and may you become the best soul that you ever thought you could be, the best soul that you ever thought you could be. All right, live your life and be happy, but do no harm to others. It's simple. All right, y'all live in bliss. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'll let your boy later.